Look at the livery on this thing. We are bringing the 80s back, and I'm gonna lead the charge. Psych!
Welcome to CK4RC.
Well, that one was, listen, I'm not proud of that one, but welcome back to the channel. We're here, we've got the Losi Micro B with this brilliant fluorescent livery. Oh man, the green, yellow, green, safety green, whatever color this is on the wheels. That's just classic buggy wheel color right there. Oh, that thing's awesome. I've been waiting for this to come in. It came in! So we're gonna get into it. So, true 80s fashion, I'm going with the neutral brown, because in the 80s, everything was either fluorescent or brown. If you were there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I went with the brown, the tan, Only RC's shirt for onlyrcs.com. Go there, get all the good stuff, and then use my discount code that's down in the video description. Copy and paste that bad boy. Get the stuff and then save the money. That is how you do it. Anyway, this thing says it's ready to run, and I believe that it is. I don't know why I wouldn't believe it. So let's get this thing out. Oh my goodness. You guys, this is just the cutest little 124 scale. It says 124 scale, but I'm telling you, this thing is tiny. This is more like 128 maybe? It is so little. See if I can cut through these without cutting through anything on the car or cutting through my fingers. I did not bring a banana down here for scale, so just use my big dumb face. Look at that. That's really close. So my face is probably around the 120 scale based on what we just witnessed right there. That is not scientific. Don't use your face for scale. This is just the cutest. Wow. I cannot get over how cool this thing looks. Oh man. Little Spectrum 2-in-1 receiver ESC combo. We got a nice little tiny brushed motor down there. We've got the good old axial servo straight out of the SCX24, it looks like. But with these tiny little wheels, that servo will probably be sufficient. Probably. I'm going to go with probably. But you know what? If it's not, because it is SCX24 servo, that means there's going to be upgrades available. So there's not going to be anything too tricky about that. That should be pretty simple and straightforward. We've got the good old Spectrum branded transmitter, the SLT2 foam wheel. We got steering and all that stuff. And then we've got the throttle, 50, 100, steering reverse, throttle reverse, steering, alignment, all that good stuff. Yeah, standard SLT2 from Spectrum. Got, of course, USB charger. You know what would be nice? And I saw somebody make this comment online at some point, so this is not a CK4RC original, but I do want to put it out there because I think it's worth discussing. Manufacturers, maybe put out the RTRs and then do like an RTR without these USB chargers, because listen, I don't need any more of these. I'll pay the same price. Just don't give me this anymore. Like, give me the option. Do I want this or not? Because no, I don't. But there's a lot of people that don't have the same collection that I have, and so maybe they do need this. So I'll pay the same price, it's fine, but I don't need any more of these laying around the Cluttered Basement Studios, like just ever. So manufacturers, maybe think about that. Save yourself some money. I'll pay the same price. T-wrench, Allen wrenches, AA batteries for the transmitter. We got a nice Losi race-inspired sticker over here. Yeah, this is fun. This thing, I like what I'm seeing. It's just held on by a tiny little bit of Velcro right there, and then the front, this little part right here slides under the shock tower. It slides into place and locks in. We got a battery down here, so there's a little battery tray bar thing that just kind of slides up and out of the way and locks in place. Kind of locks in place, hopefully locks in place. See if I can wiggle this battery out of here. Maybe. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, we got us a tiny little 350 milliamp 2S 30C LiPo. So that should have a decent amount of punch to it. 30C, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah. These tires, I mean, you got the knobs in the back, you got these up front, just really giving me that retro vibe. Suspension seems nice. It really does. Probably because this car weighs 0 pounds. And so, yeah, I imagine when it's jumping, maybe if I jump it high enough, we'll get some chassis slappers. That sounds filthy. Don't be dirty. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you jump and then land and the chassis, the suspension bottoms out and the chassis slaps the ground. Good old chassis slapper. Don't be gross. Don't be dirty. I'm not here for it. This is a good, clean family channel. If you've seen any of my other videos, you already know that to be true. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm going to charge this thing and then whoop, we're going to get this thing outside and ripping and running and eating and sliding and jumping. That's what we're going to do. So stick around because we're going to get into it. Here we go. We are batteried and ready to go. But first, I was talking about the scale of this thing. I want to do a quick comparison before we head out with our TRC Garage. This is one of their 24 scale or 18 scale monster truck ramps. But this says it's 24 scale and it needs a ramp. So that's perfect. So we're going to use the TRC Garage monster truck ramp, not the backflip ramp. Probably not going to do that to this guy, but we're going to just send it like that right here off of this ramp. That's what we're going to do. But let me spin this around over here and check out these. I want to compare it with some other 24 scale models. So let's do that. So first up on the bench, obviously we have the Micro B. Micro B? That's what it is. But I'm going to compare it next to my Hobby Plus CR24. This is one of the smaller crawlers that I have. Wheel diameter and wheelbase and length of the truck and all that good stuff. So we're going to start off and check out how the Micro B compares to the CR24. So I want to get the back wheels lined up with each other. The back of the wing is right with the back of the bumper, so that part lines up. And you can see, maybe, can you see how much longer the CR24 is? It's got a good amount of tire, and then the whole front end of the vehicle is longer than the buggy. Obviously, the buggy is, you know, a snub nose because it's a racer for obvious reasons and all the jumping and all that stuff. So, that suspension, that is just smooth. That's going to be real nice when we're hitting this jump here in a little bit. But yeah, so here is the 24 scale Micro B compared to one of the smaller 24 scale crawlers with the Hobby Plus CR24. Now, I do have one crawler that is potentially smaller than this. So let's get that out of the way and get the RC four-wheel drive Trail Finder 2. Line up the back tire with the back tire. The wing is close to the back of the pickup. Now this is a lot closer. But you can see that the Marlin is still, the wheelbase is a tad bit longer. And then you got the front of the truck as well. That really adds to that. And then as far as the width of the vehicles go, if we line up the width, the Micro B has all of the width, which is a very good thing when you're zipping around corners and you want that stability. So let's see how it is with the Hobby Plus 24. Doesn't want to stay on there. That's pretty good. So a little bit wider than the Hobby Plus 24 as well. But with that, let's go give this thing a rip. All right, so I want to test a couple locations here with this guy and see what he's got. So first, we're going to start on the back deck. It's a pretty small space. Want to see how it handles tight corners, tight areas. So, okay, get a little donut action here. Yeah, get some donut action. You can pull out of the donut action. That's always a good thing. See if I can line up this jump and see how it does. Well, it jumped. And now it's high pointing on something. It's high pointing on. Seriously, a leaf? Kind of funny. Cartwheeling off of that little jump. All right, let's see if I can actually land something. It helps if you hit the jump square. That helps to try to land stuff. Try to jockey for position and line up this jump. Well, taking a little bit of a learning curve here to dial this thing in. And by dial it in, I just mean dial my driving skills in. Because I gotta tell you, this thing is no crawler. Well, something landed on its wheels finally. Just like I designed it, you know what I mean? Hey, I landed it and I didn't even have the camera angled right. So that's cool. Let's get a nice action shot coming right at us, see what happens. Nothing. Well, nothing good anyway. Let's try it again, but this time in slow-mo. How about that? That sounds like a good idea. All right, so here's the other terrain, and this is gonna be a bad idea, but let's see how it does kind of in a real world setting, because we don't always have access to a carpet track. So let's see how it handles the real world. The steering's pulling a little bit. Oh. Some donuts, huh? Yeah, kick up some dirt. Come out of the spin. Okay, there we go. Got some walnuts in the way. that happens. The speed on this thing is pretty good. It's actually kind of hard to control in the loose gravel. Look at this thing, full throttle. This thing has some real pep. And it just bounces over stuff. It's really hard to control out here in the wild, for real. Ugh. Landing jumps is not going that well. That was a little better. Just got to come in a little bit more controlled than what I'm doing. I'm coming in all loosey-goosey, out of control. And the little Micro B just doesn't care for that. Finally got hung up there. I was wondering how long it would take to get hung up on something. The ground clearance is not real good because that's not what it's made for. Too much loose gravel, couldn't get traction, spun out before I even got to the jump. I think I have an idea on how to fix a little bit of that. That walnut right there just is in my way. Tiny little baby jump, getting some tiny little baby air. So there is a tiny little taste of the Losi Micro B. See what I did there? Anyway, this thing's just fun. We've seen footage of it running around on carpet track on the Mini Z courses, and it looks phenomenal. It's super fast. It handles super well. I wanted to get it out of its element a little bit and really put it through the paces and test it out, see what it's capable of. Turns out it's capable of really good stuff. The tight space on the back deck, honestly underwhelming. It was a little boring, but I also was just learning the feel of the buggy at that point. When I got it out into the alley, honestly, I did not expect much. I really expected this thing to get hung up on every little rock and stick and walnut, and it didn't. Yes, it got hung up a couple times, but for the most part, it handled that rough alley terrain, and it did awesome. It was slinging dirt. Remember that? It was just like a minute ago. It wasn't that long ago. If you don't remember, go back and check it out. There's beautiful slow-mo footage. Roll that slow-mo footage in 3, 2, 1. And we're back just like that. Anyway, this thing is so much fun. And for $100, you're not going to find a better micro basher racer for $100. Mark my word on that. Mark it. Write it down and then mark it. Check mark. You can put an X. You can circle it, underline it, highlight it, write over it, make it bold. However you want to do it, mark it somehow. Mark my words. $100, best, just the best. Do I have to categorize what it's the best of? It's the best bargain. It's the best 124 scale buggy. Honestly, I haven't run any other ones, so as far as I'm concerned, yes, that's true. Also, I've seen some comparisons, and I believe it to be true anyway. I'm going to have some other things coming down the pipeline to where I can verify that statement. or maybe prove it wrong. We'll see, time will tell. But that's what we're gonna do. Anyways, if you haven't checked one of these things out, do it. You're not gonna go wrong. It's so versatile. You can run it inside. You can run it on hardwood. It's a little slippery. You can run it on carpet. That's perfect. Not the, listen, don't do the 70s shag carpet. That's probably not gonna work very good. But a nice low pile carpet, you're gonna get good grip on that. These tires on here, fantastic. Losi, well done. I mean, they're Pro-Line tires, so why wouldn't they be good? But anyway, right out of the box, well done. Good job, Losi. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I like the fun factor. And so we're going to wrap it up with a grand finale. I'm going to jump this thing off 4 stories. Yeah, 4 scale stories and see how it does. I can tell you right now, it actually survives because I could turn this on and run it and it'd be just fine. And I've already done the jump. That's the magic of editing, fellas. Anyway, that's it for the Losi Micro B. This thing is so much fun. If you just want something different in your lineup and you want to put a smile on your face for a good price, the Losi Micro B, you're not going to go wrong with that choice. So, we'll wrap it up. Hit that quadfecta before you go. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's get this going, and I will see you next time. Keep doing RC stuff. All right, time for the grand finale. I have one more idea on testing this thing out, and this is a bad one. But, let's just see what happens. Yeah, grand finale. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.